It's Sunday, it's the 6th of June 2021. We've come down to Camp de Mar to have a look to see how things are progressing here. We've already seen there's a few more places open just as we've walked down to the beach. We're going to have a little walk along the promenade, and it's a bit cool, it's a bit dull. Skies are grey. We had some rain yesterday, in fact we've had quite a lot of rain, so the little torrente, river that comes down here has washed some of the beach away. So we'll have a look around and see what's going on. So you can see here that the water's been washing down, washed some of the sand away, make a little rivulet. This quite often happens here on the beaches in Mallorca. The sand gets washed away, but it soon gets put back or gets blown back, or the Ayuntamiento, the council, will come and restore the beach. So a few weeks ago we were actually watching a film with Pierce Brosnan in, called A Long Way Down, and if you haven't seen that film, much of it is actually set here in Camp de Mar, and there's quite a few scenes that are on the island there where the restaurant is, and the restaurant's actually open today. So they're over to the little island. They've spruced up the pontoon that takes you across, which was in really poor state last time we were here, and it's actually looking quite safe now. It's not a very nice day, but there are quite a few people on the beach, which is quite surprising, but I suppose if you're here on holiday, then you have to make the most of it. So yeah, a few people on the beach. We're going to make our way this way, and we've got a green light which is saying the UV index is quite low. We've got a green flag which says it's safe to swim, and the lifeguard's out to help anyone who's in any difficulty. One thing that's quite nice is that they're looking after invalids now a lot more. So there's a wooden pathway that takes you down to the sea, and there are even some aids to get anyone who wants to get into the water, to help them to get in. I think it's quite a nice move by the local council. The beach bar is open, and some of the shops that weren't open along here are now open. Looks as though the main hotel here isn't open though on the beach. Because we've had that rain, and because there is some stagnant water, it's a bit stinky down here as well. Which isn't quite nice. It's not very nice. Kayaks and paddle boards, that's something that's become really popular over recent years, particularly paddle boarding. Something new, gets people out on the water, and all through the winter we've seen people out there. Nice view here of the beach. And a few people already sitting down at the restaurant. It's only 12:30, so it's very early to go to eat. It's all outside there, so I think we've got 100% capacity. Sundial doesn't work today because there's no sun. It's actually in the distance, the sky is blue just overhead, a lot of clouds, and the sea looks a little bit grey. It's not its normal beautiful blue colour. The thing I was mainly interested, or one of the things I was interested to come down here to see, was if anything had happened to this hotel. One of the really big hotels here, and it is completely closed up. All the windows are whitewashed, and there is no water in the pool, so they're not opening anytime soon, sadly. One or two boats out on the sea. Today is the 6th of June 2021, and we are still in the thick of this pandemic, and lots of confusion at the moment about who can come and who can't come, and what tests you need to have, what tests you don't need to have. If you're British, you're coming from the UK and you've been in the UK for the last 14 days, you can come here without any tests. Going back is an issue because they've got this traffic light system, and they're on the amber. Spain is on the amber list, so you have to have a test before you return. You have to have your quarantine when you get back. You have to have 2 more tests, and for a family, the costs of things like that is just prohibitive. So pretty much people are not coming. That will all get reviewed a bit later on in the month. And but so will the Spanish restriction, and at the moment Spain doesn't require anything from people coming from the UK. They've had them to have proof of vaccination or a PCR test. That could all change because the European Union passed a law to say that from July the 1st, if you're not European, then you have to have the test to come in. The UK is no longer part of the European Union, so that puts the Europeans on the UK on a different footing to the rest of Europe. What that means as far as Spain is concerned, because Spain have now got a rule that says you can come if you're from the UK. My feeling is that the European Union will override that. So it's still a few weeks away, and it still needs to be sorted out. But as Jason Moore in the Daily Bulletin says, it's muddied the waters a little bit because nobody's really very clear about where we are now, what rules we're following. There's too many different people making the rules. So we've got the European Union on the one hand, we've got the UK government on another, we've got the Spanish government, and Spain is much more complicated than that because we have the Baleares government, there is a Mallorca government, and the local councils also have a lot to say about what you can and can't do. One thing that happened nationally is that they said that clubs are going to be able to open, and bars could open much later in the night, so they could stay up till 1 o'clock or 3 o'clock in the case of clubs in the morning. So, fantastic news as far as the clubs are concerned, except when it comes to the Baleares, then the Balearic government has another say, and they can say yay or nay. And it's even more complicated than that because the local mayors can say, but we have a different situation in our area, and they can close bars and they can close clubs, as they did last year when Magaluf virtually was closed down, simply because it opened up and there was a bit of a riotous evening, and so Magaluf was closed. So I'm not sure how that rule is going to be implemented. At the moment, nothing much is open anyway, so it shouldn't make any difference. It's a really nice promenade to walk along, but it does have steps on it. It is a bit of a slope, but the views are spectacular. Some of the properties in the distance. Well, we made it to the top. A little bit out of breath, but it's worth it just to get this view from a little bit further up. It must be one of the most beautiful views around, although having said that, Mallorca's full of them. So we're going to actually walk back along the road. It's not so picturesque, so I'm going to turn the video off and we'll catch up a bit later. So we've stopped off for some lunch here at the Meson el Quijote. It's a restaurant we've been to before, and we had a good meal here last time, so we've come again. This time we've got a menu idea for us, so I'll look at that. We're starting off with some red wine, which we mix with gaseosa. Some of you might not be familiar with this, but it's a nice refreshing drink, and I'm driving, so cheers.
Cheers.
Gaseosa is a little bit like lemonade. I think this is a great way to start a meal. We start off with some bread and pan. This is alioli. This is like a garlic mayonnaise, garlic butter, and some olives. But a really nice way to start a meal. So Anita chose the cheese and marmalade, which looks delicious. And I have spaghetti, salmon spaghetti. So, buon provecho. So our next course, Anita's chosen maluka, which is hake with vegetables. She chose not to have potatoes with hers.
I might take a few of yours.
I've had a steak with my chips and vegetables with some pepper sauce. So that looks pretty good for me. She'll pinch my chips, you just watch. Well, I just had a lovely lunch at Meson el Quijote. Menu del dia on a Sunday, but really nice, really enjoyed it. And I guess we'll come back here again. So if you've enjoyed the video, then please subscribe, share it with your friends, and we look forward to seeing you in the next one. Bye for now.
Yes, lovely lunch, and the sun's coming out as well. Bye.
Bye.